What's going on, Sweet Dreams Nation? Happy New Year's. I hope y'all enjoyed the holidays and everything with y'all family. We're back. We're in 2025, and we have fight action this weekend on tap. First card of the year. You know, I'm here to break it down, talk with y'all about it, get my takes on some of the fights. I'm going to stick to, like, the feature prelims and then the main card just because, like, you know, it's kind of late here now, and I've spent a little bit of time doing other things. You know, I'm in camp. I got my fight coming up next week. We will be doing the Ward Council for that, by the way. And, yeah, I just wanted to get this out real quick and talk about the fights. Hope y'all are all doing well and in good spirits and ready for some action. We got a pretty good one to start out the year. Really good fights on the undercard. The feature prelim, you know, got to shout out my boy Jose Johnson taking on Felipe Bunz. The Bunz? That's what it is. All right. So we have essentially in this one, I see striker versus striker. I will tell y'all I'm biased. 100% I'm biased. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Not gonna act like I'm not biased. Jose Johnson is my brother. That is my brother. My brother been my brother since before the UFC. Been supporting each other. We were two of the main guys out in Michigan doing our thing on the regional scene, knocking people out and things like that. So, yeah, 100%, bro. Jose's my guy. But I'm gonna give y'all my breakdown on it. So, how do I see this fight? So, for Jose is a very, very dynamic striker. He has good boxing. He has good kicks. He's got dangerous knees, dangerous elbows. He's a complete package whenever it comes to striking. But in this one against a Felipe, I believe the combos are going to be key. Combinations and pace and pressure will be key. I believe Jose, if he work behind the jab, doubling up the jab, more than 2 to 3 punches and then some for 3, anywhere from, I'll say, 3 to 4 punch combinations will be money for him here. Just because Felipe, what I've seen from his fights, is a big one-shotter. So he throws really hard. He's big kick, big punch, big hard shots. So I believe the thing for Jose would be to that initial strike that comes forward, deal with that, you know, the big swing, time that, and then counter with combinations and flow into his strikes and in multitudes. Of like I said, about 3 and 4 punches, 3 and 4 strikes mix it up between the knees and the punches, get going on his body, work the body. 100% I believe working the body will be huge for Jose. I believe if there are single shots, you know, you got to find your range and things. I believe working the teep kicks to the body, chopping low will be money for him. Just set up with the kicks to make sure that he's not stationary for that big shot whenever it does come, because Felipe does explode and throw big shots. As far as Felipe goes, from what I've seen from him, he is a big puncher and things like that. Anybody who's like Jose has been known to be able to be held down and grappled. I've seen in Felipe's fight against Joshua Van, he mixed in some takedowns and mixed in some grappling. That would do him some justice here to try to kind of wear on him a little bit and try to kind of maybe slow him down and slow down the dynamic and explosiveness of those strikes. And yeah, that's pretty much the most I'm gonna say as far as that. He probably should probably mix in some takedowns, try to hold him, try to grapple him a little bit. I know Jose's been working on his defense and things like that to make sure that that's not happening. But he's just so dynamic in the striking department that you have to slow him down. You have to slow him down some way, and mixing in the grappling is one way to do that. So that's how I see that fight. 100% I'm backing Jose though. Coming up next, we have Puna Soriano versus Irus Medic. I'll pause. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know how to say this nigga name, dog. But yeah. This is a good fight also. This is also a solid fight. Medic. is Medish. I don't know. I'm not sure. But babe, let me do this. Medish, he's a striker. He comes out. He's got good combinations, good punches. He overwhelms. He's good from the outside. He works his way in with some fairly decent combinations from a hook and a straight. He's a really, really good striker. For Puna in this one, I believe, you know what I mean? Because, Puna's my boy. I ain't gonna lie. I got a few bias in this card. But for Puna, the way I see this fight is Puna's got to get inside. Puna needs to get inside and mix that grappling in. Look to don't try to punch so big on the outside, but if he does punch big, to get him to cover up. And when he covers up, work your way to his body, get him down to the ground, and make him work off the ground. This guy has dynamic strikes. He's a very, 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 very good puncher. He has very good kicks, low kicks, and he mixes these things up well. He can fight from the outside, and he works his way in. Like I said, fights well on the inside. For Medic, or whatever the fuck his name is, I believe he should work behind the jab a little bit more, kind of try to push Puna back into the cage and keep him cornered. I believe keeping him cornered and keeping him on his back foot to where he can kind of take away from some of the explosiveness that comes with the Puna Soriano would be beneficial. However, Puna does have good punches. He has strong punches, and he can knock you out as well. So that's why I think the jab would be useful and as in keeping that distance and kind of being able to see the big explosive motions and things that are going to come at him. For all in all, that's how I see that fight. Moving on. We have Christian Rodriguez versus Austin Bashy. Another bias of mine. Austin Bashy, I'm happy that he's in the UFC. I'm glad. I knew this was going to eventually be the case whenever I seen him. So Austin Bashy is a younger guy that came up in Michigan. Like he was younger than us in Michigan and things like that. But I've known about this kid for a long time. He is a phenomenal grappler. His wrestling is top notch. He's tough. He comes to fight, and he can throw. He's got some shots, man. He can throw some punches. He can land and knock you out. Now, he's not as fluid with his boxing, like as far as like setting you up, like a piece you up type thing, but he can definitely crack you and ring your bell. Christian Rodriguez, I believe, is a good test for him making his UFC debut. Christian Rodriguez is a tough guy. He's durable, has a good gas tank, and he pushes the pace. Christian pushes the pace for sure. And in this fight, I believe that's what Christian's gonna have to do. He's gonna have to be able to push the pace and keep Austin working. Whether it's even if he gets him down, even if Austin gets him down, and he's just don't settle, and he's not gonna be able to settle. He's gonna have to make him keep working and eventually try to like kind of put Austin into like a blender of work to where he expends that energy and he does get tired. I believe you're gonna have to work. You're gonna have to work some body shots in there to try to slow him down. But on the flip side, how I see it is Austin just needs to stay composed and stay technical. As long as he stays composed, I believe he should be able to dominate this fight in a sense of control with his wrestling, because his wrestling is really good, and it really is like that. I believe the threat of the wrestling, he should always keep that at the front of Christian's mind while they're on the feet. I believe he needs to work behind his jab. He's gonna have to work behind that jab, get really, really good at working behind that jab to set up some of those power shots, and then whenever he throws those big punches, to work his way in to his takedowns, get him to the ground, be composed, control. Don't overexert yourself, and just slowly work your way to that finish, or just to control and just to posture and just to control the fight. Beat him up on the ground, however you see it. That's how I see the fight. The next fight, another one of the guys, Christian Curtis going up against Roman Kopylov. Now, if you've seen me do any breakdowns before, I like Roman Kopylov. Like, I like Roman Kopylov. I love the way that he fights. I love the grit that he comes with. The dude comes to bang. All right. In this one though, Chris Curtis, that's the bro. That's my dog. That's the homie. So how do I see this fight? Roman is the taller, longer, more lankier fighter. I believe he will be faster. I believe he's a little faster as far as subtle initial quickness from the outside. So I believe that'll be where he would maybe try to work. Chris has really good durability, really good gas tank, really good pressure. He sets a really, really good pace, and his boxing is phenomenal. He's I've sparred him. He can catch you on the inside. He can catch you on the outside. And whenever he gets your timing and he starts to time up shots and starts to put that pace on you, if you welter or fold even just in the smallest of bits, you're fucked. All right, so I believe that's going to be the key for Chris. Get on the inside, good boxing, good head movement, a good shell to essentially get in Roman's face, push the pace, push the pace of the fight, pressure, and just beat him up on the inside. Essentially, I don't believe he should get into a long range striking match with Roman. I believe he should get inside to take away from the kicks that Roman has, and then some of the speed that he might have from the outside. I believe that Chris getting inside, working the body, working his body, good body shots, and working his way up to the head. Don't just go in head hunting. Work that jab. I believe you working the jab to the chest, straights to the body, the straight punches to the body. I believe for Chris will be a huge moneymaker, because Roman, while he's kind of his feet aren't as choppy and they're not as quick, and he does stand a little square. For Roman, I believe he's gonna have to find a way to keep Chris off of him with long shots and get respect. Leg kicks. Chris has been out for a while. You know what I mean, and him. You're gonna have to test the endurance of his legs. He's had an injury. He's had injuries to the legs and things like that. And I believe that's probably something that he's going to be trying to work at, chopping at the legs. Good long jab. Roman has some boxing of his own. You know what I mean? Some slick counters and things of that nature. But ultimately, I believe his kicks are going to be the huge factor that could play dividends for him in this fight. I believe he needs to work his kicks, work kicks low to the legs, work them up to the body, kind of because the way Chris holds his arms, he's not gonna really as much as move out of the way of the kicks as much as he's gonna kind of take them on and take them on the arms. I believe he can beat up the arms there, beat him up, kind of batter him in that sense. So I would say, so for Roman, I would say work your kicks, the legs to the body kicks. Chris, get inside and do your thing on the boxing, you know. Work the body, and then work his way up to the head, and that with that pressure, I believe will kind of can fade him down and ultimately kind of probably either lead to a finish or a dominant victory. That's how I see that one. Next, we have Cesar Almeida versus Abdul Razak Alhassan. A phenomenal fight. Now, this fight is absolute fireworks. You got a highly decorated kickboxer that's made the transition over into MMA, found his way in the UFC. We've seen this now a couple times with a couple guys. And we have Abdul Razak Alhassan, who's a powerhouse, an absolute powerhouse. He has power in his hands, feet, everywhere. Every shot that he throws is a potential to knock you out, put you to sleep, and turn the lights off. So how do I see this fight? I see Cesar needs to overwhelm him with volume. Volume is going to be Cesar's best friend. He's going to have to be careful, wide-eyed, to where he don't get hit with that big shot. And because Alhassan can knock you out with either hand, either limb. And he's very, very, very dynamic. I believe that that Cesar should volume with the hands, volume with the strikes, which he does. He throws a lot of combinations. He's always looking to get in your face and kind of beat up on you like that. And I will also say some clinch work, some clinching him up, working some dirty boxing, weighing on his arms and his muscle. Zach is a really, really bulky built guy. So making him clinch and making him grapple, dig for underhooks and things like that, I believe can also lead to him gassing, tiring him out a little bit, maybe some knees on the inside and things like that. And I believe that can be something that'd be a way that could pay huge dividends for him. Al-Zakra Hassett, I believe he's going to be sitting back. He's going to be looking to land that one big shot to kind of put him out and things like that. I believe that Caesar is is taller. He's got a fairly decent amount more added to his reach. In fact, I'm actually realizing this fight is at middleweight. Al-Zakra Hassett is moving up from welterweight up to middleweight and giving up some height and some length in this fight. But he needs to use it foot movement and pressure off of where he is in positioning and movement and angles to get Caesar back and put him where he needs to put him at to land this big shot and things like that. I don't think he should just go out kind of like a Tank Davis does, kind of like responds to the things that you have coming at him, but without overexerting himself. And eventually he puts you and wears you out a little bit and puts you in a corner to where he can start hitting you with those big shots. I believe that's something that Al-Zakra Hassett should try to do. Not so much try to match the volume, but try to control the real estate inside of the cage and ultimately corner him to get him in spots where you can unload those powerful combos and hit him with some shots and eventually hit him with one of those big shots to kind of put him down, put him out and put him away. That's how I see this fight. The next fight, another banger, Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Charleston Harris. Good fight. This is a really solid fight. Santiago Ponzinibbio is a phenomenal boxer. He has phenomenal hands. He has power in his hands. He's got really, really slick boxing, sharp, good head movement, things of that nature on the inside. Charleston, to me, is durable. He's got a good gas tank. He's resilient, and he's well-rounded. He's able to blend things in really well, so he can be dangerous to finish a fight from a couple different places. If you push the issue on him a little too much, he has the ability to either catch you with big shots, which we've seen, end up on get you to the ground and land big shots, and also choke you out. As we've seen, I believe it was his fight against Jeremy Wells, which Jeremy Wells is a really, really good grappler as well. How do I see this fight though? For Santiago, I think Santiago needs to work that boxing. Get behind that boxing, stay crisp, stay clean on the inside and on the with his hands. Don't get into a brawl. Don't make it a brawl. And on the other side, I believe Charleston needs to make it a brawl. He needs to make it a brawl. He needs to make it an ugly fight in order for him to win. Getting inside, staying inside of his face, kind of get him to come out of that clean, crisp boxing and striking that he does, and maybe he can sell him on opening up to ultimately landing a big shot. But yeah, that's how I see it. Ponzinibbio needs to stay clean and stay clean and technical. Charleston needs to make it dirty. Moving on to the next fight. The main event, in your first main event of 2025, Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas, part 2. So we've seen this one. We've seen this fight. This is a fight that we've seen a couple years ago. It's a pretty good fight the first time around. So how do I see it this time? I kind of see it as the same as last time. I believe Amanda Ribas just needs to work her jab, work a really, really good jab from the outside and work her strikes from the outside. You know, she kind of keeps her movement and things like that to kind of keep her guessing and just use her movement and use her pressure and just her unpredictability to keep Mackenzie kind of on that back foot. She needs to keep her on the back foot and away from wanting to shoot and try to take her down. For Mackenzie, she needs to be able to get forward, get on that lead leg. Mackenzie has a fairly decent jab of her own and be able to work behind that jab and try to get to the takedown and get her to the ground so she can work that world-class jiu-jitsu that she has. Amanda, I believe her teep kicks should be money in this. her jab, as long as she's working her feet with it, work your feet with your jab, work your straight punches, and work those teeps up the middle and kind of chop at that leg. Also, I believe that those type of things would pay dividends for Amanda Ribas. For Mackenzie Dern, I believe she should work behind her jab and look to trying to corner her and tie her up and get her to the ground, and work her submission, work her jiu-jitsu to get to that finish. I mean, we've already seen this one. That's not too much more I can really say about that. Just wanted to get this out real quick breakdowns. I'm excited. If y'all can see, I lost a little bit in the face. I got my fight coming up next week. Can't wait to be back. I'm locked in, ready to go, and really, really, really excited to be back putting on the show for y'all. That's just it. I'm just gonna close it out like that. Happy, like I said, I hope y'all had a happy New Year, happy holidays, all those things, and see y'all soon. This fight should be a good card to start it out the right way, and then we come in with the first pay-per-view of the year next week. Let's get it.